Mr. Beans, yeah, I need to regenerate. I'm about to go off like I'm the Avatar state, and I can say
Black Clover is an awesome anime. In my opinion, since the very beginning of the series with the first episode, it was an awesome anime. There were people that loved to hate it at first simply because other people did and went along with their not so great reasoning for hating on it, but at least many eventually recognized it as an awesome anime, even if they want to hold on to that thought that they don't believe it started out as a good anime. And you know, freedom of speech, it's always fine to have wrong opinions. Opinions. But when Black Clover's anime ended months ago, well, that really didn't sit right with any of us fans, and that led to really three types of people. There were the people who accepted the news as real. There were the people who accepted the news as sort of real but didn't accept terminology being used because they lacked knowledge. And lastly, the people that just completely rejected the news, and many still do. But I'm not really going to spend this time talking much about the last type of person, those who always reject the actual official announcement that the show ended and say, hey, it didn't end, they said it was a break. Even though that's the opposite of what was announced. But I've talked about that many times and explained why that's just not true, and I think that short answer to why it's not true in this video works fine. If it doesn't, well, there's other videos on the channel that I've said this on, but the main thing for this video are the two types of people because, well, the website CBR that puts out articles and videos on many things in pop culture had put out an article that has now come to my attention, and the article exists to provide answers to questions concerning Black Clover. Now, I just want to say this video isn't to hate on CBR in any way, even though when it comes to really anything anime related, they seem bound to get things wrong. So because they said something wrong when it comes to Black Clover, well, I'll just be the guy who says what's right instead. I'm also only going to talk about what they say when it comes to the first question they attempt to answer, as the questions on the page after that are just random filler questions that do actually contain spoilers. The title of the article is Black Clover cancelled? And other questions answered. So again, not going to go over the other questions part. We're just going to see the first question and explain why their answer doesn't actually make any sense. Some reading it or hearing it at first may think it makes sense, but it doesn't. So here we go. First, they say, since the Black Clover anime has ended for now, fans might be left with a few questions about the series. Then we see the first question and answer that reads as follows. Is the Black Clover anime cancelled? No, it simply came to an end for the time being. The Black Clover anime wasn't cancelled, but it did come to an end for now. After airing for over 3 years and 170 episodes, the series came to a stop with the episode The Faraway Future. Okay, after reading that, if you can't tell what's wrong with that answer, I will explain. If someone asks if the current Black Clover show was cancelled and you say no, it simply came to an end for the time being. Well, that answer for that question holds a major contradiction. When it comes to broadcast media like television, the meaning of a cancellation is when a radio or television program is abruptly ended by orders of the network or syndicator that distributes the show. That's the meaning, and that is exactly what happened with Black Clover. The story wasn't finished, but the show still ended. That's a cancellation. Now, if they would have said the show didn't end, then it wouldn't be a cancellation. So to say it simply came to an end for the time being right after you say it wasn't canceled is to give a contradictory answer. Now, if the show did end when the story was finished, it would simply be an ending, not a cancellation. But that's not our situation. This goes with the two types of people I spoke about. First are the people that accept the news. Then there are those who accept the news as sort of real but don't accept terminology. I think this is due to people for some reason thinking canceled shows can't return, and therefore you shouldn't say this show's canceled because it could return. And yeah, that just doesn't make sense, and it isn't true, because of course canceled shows can come back. Just look it up. There's been many shows that have been canceled that have come back, and I'm not sure why anyone would think a show being canceled means you are forced not to come back with the show. It can come back. Although when it comes to Black Clover, we just don't know what will happen after the Black Clover movie. There could be more movies, a new show, or the same show returning. We just don't know. And to say that we do at this time, like saying, oh, this show is just on a break and it's coming back, is simply a lie. We don't know that. We don't know what's going on. All we know is the show is canceled and there is a movie coming out. That's what we know. So I hope that makes more sense for you guys. Now, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and of course, I would appreciate if you guys left a like before you go. My name's Konjik. I love you, and I'll talk to you later.
And I can say that I'm great, yeah, I can say that I'm perfect. I ain't the one that was out here saving lives, I was purchased. Now we about to take you out if you try to act toxic. I'ma send you straight up to my main man, Konjik.